check me out. If you're having a hard time financially, watch this video. I'm gonna give you 5 steps to grow your income fast. All right, so stay tuned. We're gonna talk about it right now. But before I do, all I ask you guys to leave me a like and a comment and subscribe. And then if you really feeling this, tell me, give me some feedback. Tell me what you think about it. You feel me? All right, let's get it. Everybody likes to talk about what they would have done better and everything like that, but I'm going to give you guys something even better. I'm going to tell you guys what I did to come up and how I personally became successful and what you should do and how I climbed from rock bottom, right? So the first thing I had to do was change my circle and change my environment, right? So I remember when I was in the Army and everything, and just take heed to what I'm saying, you feel me? So that's step 1, change your circle and change your environment. So one thing I learned is you cannot heal in the same environment that caused you trauma, you feel me? So a lot of you are still around the same people who are just going to cause you to be comfortable, who just going to cause you to want to go out more, still drink, still smoke. You get what I'm trying to say? And some of you don't know how to tell your peers no. You get what I mean? So me personally, how I see it is, once I changed the group of guys I was around, because for one, you can't be around doubters either. People who make fun of anything you say and put down anything you say. Man, nah, you can't do that. Man, nah, let's go play 2K. Man, nah, you can't. Stay away from those people. Stay away from guys who like to embarrass you when other people come around, but cool when y'all in person, you feel me? You got to stay away from toxic individuals, because at some point, you're going to be around people who actually respect you. And people who actually respect you, don't get me wrong, it's cool to joke around and everything every once in a while, but people who actually respect you will not do that. So that's number 1, is getting away from the frequency of doubt, because now they're distracting you. Now you go home a little slick mad, like, man, why would you say that? Man, why? You get what I'm saying? That, and what you don't realize is you're around somebody trying to have a good time, and they're causing you stress, they're causing you drama, they're causing you to do one more thing, which is think, and it's already hard enough being an adult, you feel me? So you don't need that added stress. Just remove these people, hey. And one thing I had to learn is, it's 8 billion people on earth. No matter how you try to say one person is this important, they're not. Everybody can be replaced, no matter who. And you got to have that mentality, or it's going to be very hard for you in life. You feel me? So that's step number 1, removing the environment. Also moving away from your hometown, seeing something different. Because what you don't realize is you are closed-minded. I know, right? For all the people who have never left where they're from, who have never lived somewhere else, you are closed-minded. And you might not see it. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of people do not see it initially. They're like, nah, not me. I'm open-minded. I'm like, listen, the way you think is from a perspective. Have you ever been outside of America? Have you ever spent a week outside of America? Have you ever went into the town and been amongst people who are poor outside of America? Have you ever been to an African village? Have you ever been to a Jamaican village? Or you know what I'm saying, like just exploring the world, right? So get outside and go see the world a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to point number 2. The step number 2 is to come up with a budgeting plan, right? So how did I do that? This is exactly what I did. I had to write down all of my expenses first. My car note, my insurance, how much I'm spending on food, how much I'm spending on clothes, and time. You have to start delegating time to bettering yourself, right? So then I started to realize, okay, I don't need cable, because the phone started to advance at this time. So this was 2017 when I came up with this plan to change my life. So come up with a life-changing plan, and come up with a long-term plan. Before I even knew I was doing something right, I was doing something right. You get what I'm trying to say? So I came up with a long-term plan. And this plan was save $100 a week and make sure that $100 is making money as I'm saving it. So that's via investing, right? So I had to come up with a budgeting plan. I cut off video games. I cut off buying Jordans. I used to buy a pair of J's every month. Why did I buy it? So I can look fresher than the guys next to me, just being all the way honest. So they can be like, damn, dog, look at them new shoes you got on. Just being honest. That's why I used to do it. That's why most black men do it. You get what I mean? So I realized I had more shoes than I had money saved. I had a higher net worth in Jordans than I had money in my pocket. And that's when I realized I had to make a change. So I encourage you to do the same. You may have to stop eating out for a little bit. Now I had a cheat code. I was in the Army and they would serve us the DFAC. So I had food to supplement, not eating out. So I used to get a Zaxby's plate on top of Jordans, on top of, I just was doing whatever I wanted to do, right? And I had to make a change because this is why. And I'm being all the way honest with you. I was 21 years old. And when I was 21, I realized I pissed away 3 years of doing nothing but partying and drinking and, females, right? It's all I did for those 3 years. And I was kind of mad at myself because I knew I had potential. Plus, I wasn't going to college. And I felt like, honestly, I was in a race with my peers, the people I grew up with, right? They're heading to their senior year. And I'm thinking of it like, okay, I'm not about to be anything if I don't change my life right now. So I panicked at 21 years old. I know that sounds crazy because, now I hear you supposed to, you're not supposed to get it together till you're 30, but I really panicked at 21. I was like, man, if I don't do something right now, I'll never do something. It's going to be too late. And everybody who graduates college is going to be doctors, lawyers, all this shit. I thought they was about to do it big because they went to college and I didn't. So I panicked. I was like, well, I got to come up with something. So I came up with a budgeting plan. I said, okay, I'm going to spend $100. I'm going to put away $100. I'm going to cut off video games. I'm going to cut off anything that's a liability. And I'm going to, you get what I'm saying? Save my money and invest it. So I put it in acorns, right? Before I knew how to actually invest my money. And all I was trying to do is figure out how acorns makes money. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much step number 2. Step number 3 was cutting back on expenses. Okay? So once I started to cut back on expenses, that's when life started to. So what I had to learn is you got to take 2 steps backwards to take 10 steps forward. To make $1,000, you gotta invest 100, right? Hundreds. To make 100K, you gotta invest tens of thousands of dollars. To make $1 million, you gotta invest 100K. To make 8 figures, you gotta invest millions. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's always gonna take, just about 25% to make 100. You know what I'm trying to say? That's like the minimum. So I say that's how I feel about cutting back on expenses. Just by you cutting back on eating out, buying Jordans, doing all these little things, buying an outfit all the time, you'll be surprised how much money you end up saving to be able to put into your future and better in your future. And then once you get to that level, now, you get what I'm saying? Now you can buy the liabilities and everything. So now I'm about to go to the store and go buy me some designers, some more shoes, some more this and that, because of the sacrifices that I made a long time ago. 8 years ago, I made these sacrifices. So now that we changed our circle, now that we cut off toxic people, we planned out our future, we got the plan, we got all that, right? Now it's time to get another stream of income. All right, this is step number 4. So now that you do this, mine was barbering. So what I would do is I would live off my army money. I would invest my barber money. You yourself can do what? You can have a spouse and you can say, listen, we're going to live off yours and invest mine. But that's for the real players. See, I be hearing guys saying, well, my girl won't do that. Get you a new girl. Why can't you get your family in order as a man? So that's a whole nother video or conversation itself. But at the same time, that's how it should be. We invest one stream and we live off the other stream. We live extremely below our means, right? So that's step number 2, getting a second stream of income to power our life, this new life that we want, right? We don't need the 401ks. We don't need none of that. We just need to put this in a brokerage account, buy shares on great companies at a dip. That's it, is to get that second stream of income and then build off these streams of income. So my second stream of income was barbering. And then guess what I built off that barbering? I started to invest it, which was the third stream of income. And then guess what came after that third stream? People wanted for me to teach them. So I wrote a book. You see what I'm saying? So you build off everything that you do. And even if you can't build off of it, do something else. Okay, with this investing money, I may buy some real estate. I may buy some crypto. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's what I did. I just would build off every income stream. But one thing I really do believe in is investing your money. So we done cut off friends. We done changed our environment. We cut back on expenses. We changed our mindset. You get what I'm saying? We planned out our future. You know, we doing all that, right? And then we got that stream of income. Now it's time to invest, right? So what are we investing in? Stocks, crypto, real estate, businesses. One more time. Stocks, crypto, real estate, businesses. Those 4. That's the only thing I invest in. I don't invest in nothing else. And I don't even invest in other people's ideas. Because I'm smart enough to come up with my own business plan. If I'm going to lose, it's going to be because I lost it. I can take losses from myself. I don't care if I lost $1 million. If it's my fault, it's my fault. It's something about when it's somebody else's fault that just, I can't sleep at night. You feel me? So, boom. Stocks, what are we doing? We buying the dip on mostly the S&P 500 type of stocks. If Meta dips 50%, 40%, we buying a dip. If Amazon dips that, we buying a dip. If Tesla dips that from the most recent high, by the way, we're buying a dip. PLTR dips 40%, 50%, we're buying a dip. Get what I'm saying? So when it comes to stocks, I want those 40% drops. When it comes to crypto, I would say 20 and 40s again. And then when it comes to indexes, around 20 to 30%, like the S&P 500, SPY, which is an ETF, and the index is SPX. But that's what I'm doing, folks. So you guys got the whole game plan now to better your life. We cutting off the toxic people. We got to get rid of those people. Get them squares out your circle. We cutting back on expenses. We doing, but think about it, only takes about 1 to 2 years of this. Maybe, I'm gonna be honest, 2. But a lot of you gonna be like, well, that's too long, Aristotle, that's too long. I'm telling y'all, don't listen to these drug dealer mindset people. These guys still don't got $1 million. So if they ain't a millionaire yet, these guys just ain't really, balling like that. But they telling you everything is too slow. The scammers, even the scammers not millionaires. So everybody who's telling you not to take a long route isn't there either. And then their route, they end up taking a big loss. They end up taking, 5 steps forward and 30 steps backwards. Federal prison. You know what I mean? So if you want to get this money the legal way, you like your freedom, you like all that, I gave y'all the game. And don't forget this part too, which is to invest in assets, to continue to invest in assets. Because remember, I told you I lived off my army money, invested my barber money. That means every month, every single month, every check is going into the stock market, right? All the money I make off barbering, 100% of it. What Nip say, all money in. You need some stream of income to go all money in on investing into assets, stocks, real estate, crypto, business, right? That's all I do every month. Check on my businesses. I invest in those. I run ads. I do that. I invest in crypto. I invest in stocks, and I invest in real estate. That's my thing. And to be honest, what that did was honestly quadruple my net worth. I went from a 10 million guy to a 40 million guy in 2 years, just off this. Because, and then you got to also think about this, the money I can borrow from these assets. So if anybody wants to quadruple their net worth, I can literally teach them how. And to be honest, I'm breaking the game when it comes to financial literacy, because I'm about to give y'all another piece of game. You can double your money, put it in a high yield. You got 50K on you, 20K on you, you put it in the bank, make sure it has a high yield savings, and make sure it's a bank that you can walk into, you know what I'm saying, physically, right? So Chase is the bank I use. I gave them some M's, and I'm gonna give y'all a ballpark number, just an example. I gave them more than one M, but let's just use one M. Let's just say I gave Chase $1 million. You know how much they gave me back to a line of credit? About 950K. They gave me a little over 90% back. And of course you got to build a relationship. When you first walk in there, they're going to try to give you 70 to 80%. Let them do that. Come back, a month later or two. Hey man, I got this thing coming up. Y'all think y'all could do a little bit more than that, man? I gave y'all real money, you know what I'm saying? Like I gave y'all everything, not everything I got, but like just be like, I gave y'all some money, man, And the next thing you know, he told me, man, I got you, bro. Like I had a long conversation with my banker. He gave me 90% of my money back. And guess what that money is doing as it's sitting in the bank? And I'll tell y'all how much I put in there. I put in $4 million. I put $4 million into a high yield. They gave me about 3.9 back, right? And guess how I'm paying back the loan that they gave me with a line of credit, not a loan, with the interest that I'm making off the 4 million, which is about 16K a month. So the bill I think is maybe 10,000 that I got to give them every month, and I pocket a 6. I'm paying them back with the interest. Understand what I'm saying? So it's a cheat code. So basically, after I pay them back the interest, which I'll probably pay it off a little faster so I can keep putting in money, just borrow more money. If I put in another $1 million into them, I borrow more money. So if you want to learn all these gems and everything that I do about how to get some money without all this BS, refinance, real estate, debt, get your credit score, borrow, all that crap, I'm borrowing debt to go get some more money. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm not doing it to go buy no Lamborghini, nothing like that, right? If you're trying to learn how to get this money, y'all know what to do. Hit the link in the description. You know what I'm saying? I'll pin the link in the comments. honeydripnetwork.com. Tap in.